Did it? It turned off. Oh, darn it. Well, anyways, I got to prep everything all over again. Oh, what frustrating this is. It's not easy making videos, people. You hit the wrong something or your finger slips and everything, you lose everything. I lost everything. I was on there, had a good video going. I was going to show you how to use that. Well, I did another film, so I was showing you how to use that EPOV vibrator. I got to talk about it again because there's another type I got too that I wanted to show you. I got two types of EPOV vibrators. Now, there's all kinds of attachments to these too. There's 4 or 5 attachments that go to each EPOV. I have the big EPOV and I have this small one here. This one's around, I don't know, 70, 80 bucks, somewhere around here. Tax and all that. And, but man, I don't know how they're going to last. You know, I got this, I don't know, it's been 6 months maybe. I don't know. Well, I sent my brother my old one. My brother's got an old one that I had for a year or so. And I gave it to him, and I bought a new one. And I gave it to him. He says he uses it, you know. He says it helps us stimulate the blood flow in his legs because he has his legs wrapped. You know, he has his legs wrapped. He has some type of dermatitis or something. I don't know what it is. No, dermatitis is skin, scalp. I'm talking about Dimitri. No, what do they call it when your legs are, you know, they got to wrap them, they swell all up and all that stuff. Inflammation sets in, you can't walk. That's what he's got. My brother Jimmy is helping him out though, and he says he's getting him to get up and walk to the bathroom instead of just pissing in a jar. And then he has to empty it. Well, that's my brother Mike. I mean, he's old now. He's old. He needs some help. And my brother Jimmy went down. He was lonely in a nursing home. Not even his wife came. His wife ran off with another man. She's living with somebody. You know, so, and his children don't come and visit him unless he's got money. Unless I give him money and he calls his child and says, come on over and get $50 or $100 or something like that. They'll come over, you know. But he doesn't have that money to give them to come over. They won't come over unless he's got some money. When he died in their care, you know, my brother Mike. He was dead on the floor 3 days, is what he told me. And the story's just changing and all that stuff. But the ambulance came because his brother-in-law came home. He says, what's Mike doing over on the floor over there? He had been home for a couple of days, you know, and his brother-in-law. And my brother was at his house with his wife, with her sister. And he fell out on the floor, and they just left him there. When the ambulance came, there wasn't any rings on his fingers or anything because she had put his foot in his armpit and got some Vaseline and a pair of pliers and pulled the rings off his fingers. And that's what my brother says she must have done because there was no way he could get them off because they had swollen up and they were embedded in his fingers, his rings, his gold rings. You couldn't get them off, so he just left them on there, right? But she got him off. Gold digging bitch. Sold his house to the Chinese. Nobody knows where the money went. At least I don't. Maybe they do. Mike forgot. He's been bashing the head with a crowbar. He's still Mr. Piss and Puppy Dog with him. Oh, trying to find money so they can call him up so they'll visit him. And he can pissy puppy dog. All they want is, that's all they want. I sent money to him in envelopes and stuff like that. He never got it. Never got it. So I quit doing that. Now I want to help him out. My brother, I love him. You know what I mean? He was the number. He should be a multi-millionaire right now, but he got ripped off. He got ripped off, people. He was the number one person in the world. He knocked out the African champion. If they could get that video, and you see that video of my brother knocking that guy out, and then he went for the title fight with Vito Antuofermo, and Gil Clancy looked at him and saw what shape he was in, and he says, the fight went 25 rounds. Everybody's going home to sleep. You go home for 30 days. We'll pay you. You go home for 30 days and come back and fight him again. We'll pay you again. He's gaming my brother out of the world's title for his man, Vito Antuofermo. Because Vito would have been pounded in the ground if he would have fought my brother the first time. But no, they gave him money. My brother went back, bought a house, lounged around for a while, went back into the gym for a couple of weeks, got there, and Vito was there. Top shape, waiting for him. Knocked him out, I don't know, 7th round, 8th round. I don't know when it was. But my brother would have pounded his head in the ground like he did to the African champion. African champion was knocking everybody out into going in the ring. And everybody was on the edge of their seat because my brother's arms was like a battleship. Boom, 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 moving around, boom, 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 boom. And it did that for 5 rounds. This guy just fell on his face. Wham! And he got up on his knees and he was dizzy looking at my brother. There's a picture of it in the African magazine. 4-page spread on this. 4-page spread. And the African with Muhammad Ali on the front sweating. That magazine, did you ever see that magazine? Look for it on the internet. Muhammad Ali on the front, and he's sweating. It's the African magazine. That's the one that my brother's write-up was in. How he put the middleweight champion of Africa on his face in the 5th round. A 4-page spread, too, with pictures and everything of this guy looking up at him saying, who the celibate was this guy? That's the opposite of the F word. I try to use celibate instead of F, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's in the Bible. I'm not in the Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in the, oh, come on, man. Dictionary. Jeepers. See, I get caught up. My mind's going all over the place. I get that stammer in my thinking. You know, that's not positive all the time. You know, I'm not 100%. I was just evaluated. I just took a IQ test. Symbols and all that stuff. 3 symbols, and then 3 symbols, and then 2 symbols. And what would this symbol be if it followed the pattern of all these other things? What would this symbol be? And I hit what it would be. You know, and then I go on to the next one. I did 35 different levels, and they came back and they said, very good, you did very well. They said you're rated, out of all the people that took the IQ test, it looked like close to 1 million, you're rated in the top 5% in IQ wise. And they can't give you an IQ, what would they call it? Scholastic IQ. They gave you how you reason, a reasoning IQ. My reasoning IQ is in the 5th percentile of all the people that took the reasoning test. Mine is 5%. So I said, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I can look at things and figure them out pretty quick. That's my skills. That's why I was when I was a teacher, I was actually an undercover agent, really, because I filled out. I work with felony offenders, you know, and I filled out paperwork. Their good points, their bad points. I handed it in. I had a counselor that reviewed all my work and all that stuff while I was a teacher. I was an instructor teacher at OCES for industrial arts. That's what I got. I got a 4-year degree in industrial arts. So, well, not industrial arts, technology, tech degree. I got a 4-year tech degree. I've gone to all the schools. I built my own home. I did everything in it, too. I didn't know the procedures of doing it when I built it, but I learned it as was going on because I hired subs to come in for the big stuff like plumbing, Electrical I did myself, but I had it inspected. And because where I live, you don't need a master's. I live outside the city limits. You don't need a master's. Now you probably do. I don't know. I was 50. I built this house in 88. Hermitage. The Shadow of the Rosary Hermitage I built. 1988. I had a Hermitage fence up around it too, from Mount St. Francis Hermitage. I built a lot of stuff up there, and they gave me the fence that they had up there. It was a wood fence, and there was a lot of sections too. There's 40 sections, 40 sections of wood fencing, 8 feet long. Somewhere, maybe it was 30, 31. I don't know, but it all fit on this guy's truck that I got to come in. It was a flatbed. And he piled them up and tied them down and everything, and he took and delivered them to my house from the Mount St. Francis Hermitage. So I had that fence going around my Hermitage. I had the Mount St. Francis fence going around my Hermitage when I first opened this up in 88. 1988, Brother Dan was up there, and I was in charge of Mount St. Francis Hermitage for a couple of weeks. The priests and everything had to go on leave and all. They didn't have anybody to take care of the place. So they said, Bill, you want to maintain it? You can do whatever you want up here, cut the yard, They had lawnmowers up there I could ride around, and I like that stuff, They said, okay, I'll do that. So I went up there, and they let me loose on that place for 2 weeks. And the fishes are full of ponds are full of big, huge bass, and nobody can fish them because there's no fishing up there, right? And I says, well, they're not paying me. So I went out there and I fished it, right? And I put everything back I caught. I got videos of it, too. Me putting them back. After I catch them, I put them back in. I wanted to make, in case anybody saw me from the woods or something, because a lot of people walking around up there. They come up and walk around. It's open to everybody. They might see me, fishing there, and they go, oh, who's that fishing? There's no fishing here. Yes, there is when I'm in charge. I almost bought the place. And they wanted 60 grand for it. And all the acreage and everything. But I looked at it and I says, I got to take care of this. They had roofs. They had lineal footage of roofs, probably 1,000 feet of lineal footage of roofs to do up there. And I saw myself on the roof all the time, fixing them. I said, nah, I don't want this job. I don't want this. I was going to make a retreat out of it, and I played guitar. Susie and I were going to have retreat up there and all that, manage it and everything. Oh, what a headache. I bet you it was, because we didn't go for it. We had already been through a lot of crap, so God gave mercy. He gave it to us, though. He gave us a chance to do it. You want to have a retreat place? Yeah, okay. Well, and then after that, the Franciscans moved in. They got an order up there now, the Gray Franciscans. They're kind of like a cloistered Gray Franciscan because they don't talk to anybody. You come to Mass and nobody talks to anybody, and then they leave and they're gone. You don't see them. Now, once in a while, you get a couple of them that are visiting them to see what they're like, and they'll come out and talk to you. Talk to the people that are around and stuff. But the main guys, like the priest and all that stuff, they're secluded. You don't talk to them. They're like cloistered. That's like a cloistered place. But they open it up to the public. They got 12 cabins, last I knew. And I built all their cabin wood sheds on them, where they store their wood. So when they, at nighttime, because everything's heated by wood. There's no electric or anything. You got a candle and all that stuff. It's a hermitage. It's a way for people to get away and live like they did way back. But they got wood there, and you can cook your stuff on a big stove, wood stove. You can cook your food. The Brother Dan made spaghetti on it, boiled spaghetti, and invited Susan and I up for spaghetti dinner. There was nothing in it, just sauce. But I thought it was funny. He's a nice little hermit, Brother Dan. He liked birds. He was a bird man. And he had lots of birds. And if you let him loose for a year or two, he had too many birds. Because he knew how to take and make them be birds. And he had all colors. He loved them golden finches with the different colors in them and all that. He had a lot of them. Yeah. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't seen him in quite a while. I don't know, years. And then, there's lots of people I think about all the time. I pray for him. Father Adam. Then somebody told me he died. I went to St. Cyril's last week, and I says, "Oh, I was here when Father Adam." And this is, Father Adam. He goes, "No, I think he passed on 4 years ago." I says, "What? He passed on 4 years ago? Nobody told me nothing. Well, nobody. I'm in the Hermitage. Nobody comes up and knocks on my door. Nobody knows my phone number. I have a private phone number. So how am I going to know what's happening in the world?" So I got to pray for him, Luckily, there's no time with God because, Papa Pio, he was crying one day with his brothers, crying, praying during the prayer and all that. He's crying. And I said, "What are you crying for, Papa? Padre?" And he says, "Oh, my father. I didn't pray for him when he died, he had things against everything, and he just had to forgive his dad, and he's finally forgiven him," he said. "I forgive my dad, and now I'm praying for him." He says, "Well, why are you crying?" He says, "He died 20 years ago." He says, "With God, there's no time. It's just like it just happened. There's no time with God. It's what happens. Happens." You ever hear that one? Hey, what happens, happens. Well, that's the way it is with God, man. They either do it in conjunction with His will for you, or you go your own way. And if you go in your own way, it's bye-bye. Don't come back, Jack. You're on the highway to hell. And when you get there, you can't come back. That's the way it is. So are you a person that's going to give up the light for the darkness? Or are you going to give up the darkness for the light? Amen, brothers. Eat his body, drink his blood, confess your sin, and you will live forever. That's Jesus' promise. If you don't, you have no life within you. I never knew you.